I'm Becky Page. This is Monday Masterclass. One of the first things that I was thinking we need to go over, and this is for those of you guys live, but also for anyone who watches this recording later, is I just want to remind you of some basics, because I think it's so easy in the world of an online business to feel like you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. So just some really simple basics to remember. Our team, the table, Andrea Mitchell's team, of which I am one of her level ones. We run this team page together, but it's called the table. And you need to check the table kind of every morning or every afternoon or whenever it is that you sit down to work your business. I would start with the table, and you need to be filling in your calendar. Like, your calendar is what I guarantee you live and die by it out in the real world. So if you don't have Plexus stuff prioritized on your calendar, I would say you're working a hobby, which is great. If all you want to do is have this business for a hobby, but then I'd be like, oh, why are you on this call? Let me try to motivate you to take it from hobby level to actual small business level. Okay. So check in with the table every day. Second thing is Gut Glam. Gut Glam is the name of our Facebook customer page. Are your VIPs added there? Because utilizing Gut Glam is so powerful. You can invite them. You need to send them a message and be like, hey, I invited you to this customer page, and I'm going to tag you in somebody's testimony that will speak to you. Okay. So what this is going to do is it's going to be like third-party validation, because if Ivy's my new VIP and I know that she's dealt with polycystic ovarian syndrome, we've got like hundreds of those on Gut Glam, I'm going to go tag her in one and then come back and be like, what do you think about that testimony? It's going to build her belief. It's also going to teach her how to search and share. Okay. Full of testimonies that you have access to, your VIPs. By the way, we have started our sugar detox challenge there, which I am super excited about, because you want to talk about a month where people need to be sugar detoxing, because they're going to end this month with Halloween, right? And they're going to have sugar all over their house. Okay. Third, and this is new for some of you guys, but we have a Facebook Messenger chat called the Rally Chat. It's non-active, meaning the admin posts into that chat every day, something for you to share, something for you to post, something for you to share, something for you to learn. And there's one more, and I'm missing it right now, but it is basically just, you can go in. If you're like, I know I need to post today, but I'm overthinking it again. Okay, well then it's going to give you something to post. If you need to follow up with a customer, it's going to be there. If you need to learn something about the business, you can find it there. It's every day, Monday through Friday. So it's going to be the thing that helps you get out of feeling stuck in your business, especially for those of you who really you've got like 30 minutes, you're going to give it your best go every day. Okay. Use the Rally Chat. And the fourth and last thing is that there are multiple events that you can plug your customers or your potential customers into. Every Thursday, we have two things. Every Thursday is a different customer event chat happening in Facebook Messenger. Okay. So all you need to do is find out how to get added. You go add your people and say, hey, I invited you just to be a part of this like 20-minute, 30-minute event that's going to happen on Facebook Messenger on Thursday night. If they can't be there live, they scroll up and they follow all the way through. And then you, and this is key, you come along and you follow up with them. What do you think? I saw where you voted in the poll and said that you were most concerned about energy. Can we talk about that? What do you think about the product testimonials that got shared? Also, every Thursday night is a call called Real People, Real Stories. They sign in, they listen in, they don't even have to turn on their camera. They listen to 3 health testimonials every Thursday night. If you need the information, you're going to search the table for Real People, Real Stories. That gets updated every week. And then the last event that we have every Sunday night is a business opportunity call. Okay. Every Sunday night, I believe it's like 8:30 Central. And it is also updated in the table. So every week you've got the information for both of those. If somebody misses on Thursday night, you're like, hey, just listen to Sunday night, because you're going to hear about how you can get your products covered. Okay. So I just feel like I want to keep those things on repeat, because I see the names and faces on this call live, and I know we got some old timers, some old school people who are in it, but like you might have a new team member that listens in on this later and they need you to remind them of this. A guy that once used to work at corporate told me, and I say it all the time, show me someone's calendar, like literally show me their calendar. And if they have Plexus events in their calendar for the next 30 days, I'm going to show you someone who won't quit on their business. Whatever's not in your calendar isn't a priority. Whatever is in your calendar, you're going to have reminders go off. And look, that's why you guys are here live. So thank you. Okay. As you know, or if you don't know, we are talking about going gold all fall because it is the thing that we want this team to be so good at. I want you to be able to go gold yourself, and I want you to be able to turn around and lead someone else through the process like clockwork. And we want it to be sustainable. We want people to hit gold and to keep going, okay? So if you've hit gold and you've relapsed, you're in a great place. If you've never hit gold, we're so glad you're here. If you have hit gold, but you've never helped someone go gold, we're so glad you're here. Like, that's why you're here. And then if you've got really big dreams, like me, like Andrea, I want to develop 4 golds wide this year, okay? So today, I get the privilege of introducing you to my newest level 1 gold. And I'm so excited because this is Jennifer's first call to ever speak on. Look how happy she is. Actually, she's like a total stud speaking. And I know this because I like literally, I think she started her customer page. We had one conversation on the phone. Jen and I have never met in person. We had one conversation on the phone, and I turned around and she had started a customer page and added me to it. And she frequently goes live in her customer page to talk about the products, to talk about the benefits, to talk about the business. And I just think she's a go-getter. And that's why she is a new gold. She's a new organic gold, meaning she didn't pay anyone to get their product. She's been sharing for a while. But my favorite part of her story is this is not Jennifer's first go round with Plexus. And that's why I love those kind of stories. I loved hearing from Sally last week and how long she's been doing this and what it took for the switch to get flipped for her. And I wanted Jen to be able to share today. So here's what you don't know about Jennifer. Like, she is young and super in shape. We were laughing. She's younger than me. She's also a brand new grandmother. She just had her very first grandbaby, and she's a health enthusiast. She'll get to share with you some of the mindset work. In other words, like, she's not sitting around on her haunches. She's got a lot on her plate. Plexus is one of those things. I would say it's part of her kind of like whole body wellness ministry. And I just want to let you get to know her. So Jen, why don't you start by sharing about like your first go around with Plexus and what that was like?
Sure. So my first exposure to Plexus was through Facebook. There was another person under Becky who I went to high school with who was actually younger than me. She was based in Texas. She was on fire, and at the time I was watching her, she had achieved senior silver or senior gold, right, I believe. So I watched testimonies, and at the time I had 2 family members, my child and my spouse, who had allergies. I had never really had allergies. I grew up in Georgia. I didn't really understand it. And my child at the time was probably 10. I don't know. I should do math. She's on the phone, so she can tell you. There she is. There's my baby. She had some allergies, and then her dad had allergies, so much so that twice a year in the spring and in the fall, he would cut the grass, and we had 5 acres. 3 of it was grass, and he would come in from cutting the grass and have to go to bed for the weekend because of fever. The sinuses would be so bad, and he was just that sensitive. And so my dive into Plexus was for that reason. And of course, every woman relative to their own body wants to lose a few pounds. So I was like, well, I'm just I'll try Plexus. I'll start Plexus, and then I'll put my husband on Plexus, and he can be my first customer. And I just had this big plan. Well, it worked. We were on triplex. I did not put my baby on triplex at the time because she was still young, and I wanted to figure that stuff out on my own. So he and I did it for almost 2 years. And in 2018, tragedy hit our home. And I still stayed on Plexus, and for probably a year and a half, I stayed on Plexus, the triplex. I was not doing the pink drink. I was only doing probiotic and BioCleanse by 2018, 2019. So I had pretty much given up the pink drink, mostly because I didn't think I needed it. So 2020 was kind of a wonky year for everybody. And I just decided, while I was in an okay position financially, I don't know why, I just decided to stop taking my supplements. There was no rhythm or rhyme or reason for any of it. Life changed. So I stopped taking it. And then fast forward to November of 2022, 2023, November 2023, I'm now in a whole different place in my life. My daughter's married and, living a grown-up life, and I'm in a completely different area. Oh, look at my grandbaby, y'all. You shouldn't show her. I'll get distracted. Don't do that again. Okay. So anyway, I went to a functional medicine doctor because I am a personal trainer. I was a coach at 𝗠𝗢𝗡𝗗𝗏 Fitness for a very long time. I still kind of dabble in that, and I do some work in their studios. I'm a firm believer in their methodology. I know that at a certain age, we have to change the zone focus, but it's a great exercise, and I was inspired by the owner. Anyway, there were like 5 pounds that just would not go away. And I mean, I'm just gonna be very frank, because at some point we're all at this stage where you're concerned that you're in perimenopause or you're about to be in menopause. And so, I mean, for me, it was my sexual activity was just something was happening. And I was like, I don't understand what's happening. It was so foreign to me. And the only thing I went to the gynecologist, and she basically laughed me out of her office. She did all the testing that they do, and she was dismissive. So I didn't like it. She was a new gynecologist to me. So I went to a functional medicine doctor, and it was a 3-hour visit. And she ran all these tests on me. Some things I know because I'm in therapy, because I'm highly focused on my body. I'm overproduction of cortisol at all times. I'm highly anxious. Exercise and Jesus have been my healers in every way. And they are my outlet. But I went to functional medicine, and the first thing she said to me was, let's talk about your gut. And I was like, okay. So then she did the little triangle about how the gut impacts everything, the little axis. And I mean, I could have sat there all day, because it's the way my brain works. I'm all about self-improvement. So I left with a prescription of probiotic. Now, it's been 3 years since I came off of Plexus, and I haven't really even thought about Plexus. I just think about what I'm doing, which is fitness and food and protein. And I'm still following Becky, and I'm still following the other senior gold who is not really active anymore in the company. And I start taking this probiotic. It's $65, and I'm about 2 months into it or 3 months into it. And I don't know why, but I guess I saw something Becky posted, and I don't even know Becky. I didn't know her personally. I just had been following her since 2017. I mean, that's just the truth. And her stories were always intriguing, and I love those babies. And Jack was the cutest little boy when I first started following her. Like, she had this picture of Jack in like some mittens or something, like 5 or 7 years ago. Oh my gosh, it was the cutest picture. So I love to watch her babies. Anyway, I saw a post, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to Plexus and figure out why I'm, cozy Jack, the cutest picture. Anyway, I decided to go back to what I knew, because it worked. It worked for my husband. And I was like, there's no reason for me not to do this. And the journey from the Jennifer then to the Jennifer that to 2023 is a very long story that would maybe one day make a great book if I get brave enough to write it. But the bottom line is, I had done so much work in therapy on myself, in going to therapy and trying to better myself, that I was in a different place when it came to business, is what happened. So I'd worked in the corporate America for 20 years. Project management was my skill set. Administration is something I'm very, very good at. It comes naturally for me. What is not natural for me, but I believe God has required of me, is to overcome rejection. That is not something that's natural for me. It is, I'm a 2 on the Enneagram, if that tells you anything, if anybody knows what that means. So I'll lay down and let 500 people walk all over me before I say, hey, that kind of hurt. Is what I do. Okay. So getting into the Plexus business for me, again, after not really building a team before, it was kind of a challenge. And I don't think it was one that I wanted to shrink away from. And I think that courage came from the Holy Spirit, because I had to walk out some things. I'm still walking out things like, it's okay if people don't respond to me, because in life, just like in Plexus, it's not personal, right? It's just not. So I started Plexus. I asked my husband if he wanted to start Plexus. And I mean, I didn't tell you all the in between, but I am remarried. So it's a new spouse. And he is an 8 on the Enneagram, which means when you ask an 8 to do something, immediately they're like, no, I'm not doing that. No, they're just challengers in every way. But he decided that he was going to try it because he had some arthritis. And, I'm a personal trainer. I couldn't get him to work out. We've been together 5 years. I couldn't get him to go to one Orange Theory class. I couldn't get him to come upstairs and work out with me in my gym. I couldn't get him to do anything. But Plexus, he was going to do the reset with me. He was ready. Something happened in him, and he was ready to do the reset. So I said, look, here's what I know. I told him my story. I said, we should do the reset, 3 days. You have supplemental nutrition, which is great if you've never fasted, which I don't think he had. And then we can just start the triplex and see how it goes. We committed full on, full force. So he was my first customer, right? It took me 2 months, I think, to go silver. Then I added my daughter, who is on the phone, that's Livy, and my friend Beth, who I think is on the phone and not showing her face, I think. Oh, and my friend Lori's on the phone. Hey, ladies. Anyway, I added those 2. So that's how I became silver. Now, here's the other thing I did. I posted every single day I added all my friends to my customer page, and I posted every single day. And yeah, I see you're there with no camera on. I knew it. You need to show your pretty face. You too, Lori. Well, Lori, you don't have to. Lori's excused because she just had major surgery. Anyway, I posted every day because I write a blog, and I had a major life experience, and there are some people that follow me whose lives I know will be changed by this product. And it wasn't about money for me. It still is not about money for me, even though I can tell you I've never made this much money at Plexus. I've been now since April, so I don't know how many months that is. So 6 months I've been, but I believe in the product, so it was not hard for me. So I started copying and pasting posts from other Plexus people because I didn't have testimonies and I wanted to do that. And then I started posting videos, and every challenge that was posted at the table or Gut Lamb, I tried to participate in if I could afford to participate in it. And when I did, I daily posted a video about how that challenge was going. And I am not a big person of the fast, easy weight loss. So I say that in just about every one of my videos and every one of my posts, because I don't believe that's how you maintain good weight loss. I just don't. I don't think there's an easy way. And that's because obviously I've studied it. And I think the gut health is the thing that's more important to me than anything else. So I just wanted everybody to come along that journey. And every month I've added 3 or 4 customers slowly. Usually at the end of the month, that last week when we're all beating our head against the table and we're like, just check out with your cart. Yeah. So eventually, I think the month before I went gold, I was 3 points away from gold, and that was really frustrating. And being at gold is really scary because you want to maintain it. And so there's this business mind that I have, and I really, really want to succeed, but really in the end, and I say this all the time, in fact, I had a video I haven't posted yet on my page, I'd really rather just everybody buy the $37 probiotic. If I had my druthers, it would be all 900 of my followers bought that one product from me. That's it. And that's the truth. So that authenticity, I think, is probably what drives people to buy from me. And then I am religious about making sure that they are not billed or shipped without being notified, because I'm not a big fan of that myself personally. So every week I go in, or every 2 weeks, and I send a mass email or individual emails to my customers, and I'll say, hey, your bill date's here, your ship date's here. Do we need to change your mix? If you need to change your date, then you need to do that. Because while I like to make money and I have earned money and some prizes, I really just want people to get better. That is my overall goal. And I think that because I'm focused that way, it's the thing that's built I have Elizabeth, who's not showing her face, and Olivia Grace, my baby, are my ambassadors. And they're working. Elizabeth works full-time as a teacher, and it is, if I don't know if any of you are teachers, but if I could pay y'all $1 million a day to do your job, I would. So I don't fault her for all the busyness that she has going on, but she's been advertising. And then Olivia, I sense in both of them the same thing that I had the first time around, which is I don't want to be rejected and I don't want to annoy people. And that's what it comes down to.
Well, and you and I have talked about on the phone too, the power of overcoming the fear of rejection, and how much you have leaned into that. And I would say, like, just tell us in the chat if fear of rejection is one of the things that has hindered your business, and we'll kind of take a reading of the room. But I know as a diamond, I've been with the company for over a decade. Definitely that was part of the assignment from God was, hey, I want you to get over your fear of other people. And lean into this because I've called you to this. And I know Jennifer feels the same way. Tell me one of the areas that actually, tell me some of the self-talk that you give yourself that helps you lean against that fear of rejection when you're reaching out to people.
I think my desire at this stage, and I say that at this stage because I've had a good bit of therapy, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, with both the Holy Spirit and people I've paid. I would say that I lean into him because, and I say this with a great amount of love and as little judgment as humanly possible. Like, we cannot be fulfilled by any human being ever. So for me, I have to it's every day. It's probably every hour of every day. I have to constantly say to myself, you love me more than anyone else. And it's really the Lord that loves me more than anybody else. And that's it. So my self-talk is very spirit focused. And there are days that I fail at it and I cry, about my own, not about plexus, thank God, but about other things. And then just remembering that it's not personal, I think is the biggest repetitive sentence in my head, which is that there's really some great little slogans out there, like people can only meet you where they're at. People can only love you as much as they love themselves. A lot of what we see on the other side of things is less about us and more about them. Even when it comes to plexus, which sounds so silly, but it's true, I find. So I just repeat those things to myself.
Thank you, Jen. One of the things I want to point out is, especially as we keep talking about going gold, gold is when you've got between 17 to 20 people in your organization, either direct to you or under some of the people that you've recruited. But there's different ways to skin that cat. Like Jennifer has gone, and for the most part, not everyone is a level 1, but the majority of your VIPs are direct to you. She is the strong recruiter on her team. Anyone else feel like, okay, I am the strongest recruiter on my team. If people are coming into my organization, yeah, Sally, I see you. They're coming into me. So what we want too is to encourage you guys, not only to encourage you, but really to hold your hand so that you can not only do this, but then you can help your people do this. But the way we're going to build a lasting organization is beyond just personal recruitment, although holler for personal recruitment because that's going to help you earn money, earn prizes, etc. But when you begin to duplicate, that's when your belief about not only the products, but about the income, the business, this career of network marketing when that begins to filter down and you can cast that vision to people who will get the vision. Listen, not everybody is going to get the vision. Some people are going to be your greatest connectors, right? You probably, I'm guessing most of the people on this call, you probably have a customer who has sent you another customer like, oh, I don't need them. They can go direct to you, right? And if you haven't, that'll happen at some point. You'll get someone who sends you customers and you're like, hey, you could she could go under you. Well, that's fine, but I don't really want to work the business. Okay. Those are great connectors. But then you're going to have a conversation with someone who is it's like the magic unicorn. They are interested, one, they are hungry, two, like they want this, they want the products, they want the income. And three, and this is what Jennifer was to me, they're a self-starter. So one of the top qualities that I saw in Jennifer and have seen it literally ever since because we never met the first time. There were Jen, there were like 3 people between us. It was like my level 1, her level 2, Jen's sponsor and Jen. So she was like a level 4. I never met. We never got in a 3-way chat. To my knowledge, we were never on a call, but I never quit my business. And so as she was following me, when she decided to come back, PS, is your open for business sign out on your social media, okay? We talked, and basically, guys, we had a phone call. I remember I was actually outside of Orange Theory talking on the phone to her, and we had this quick conversation, and boom, she didn't need hand holding. Again, the magic unicorn. Most of your people will need some kind of hand-holding. Now, Andrea and I were both self-starters. Also, a lot of the leaders on this call, like nobody had to hold your hand to go silver, but don't be surprised that most of your VIPs will maybe need some hand-holding before they start to get that vision, before they go, oh, wait, like $350 I just got an email or a text from Plexus saying they just deposited $350. Now, what did I do? And then that might be the thing that interests them, but don't be afraid and don't hold back from truly holding your people's hands to duplicate, because that is actually going to be what grows your organization and grows your income in the long run, is when you have other leaders who turn around and are doing that down. So with that in mind, I kind of want to transition over to Andrea, because she's going to share some top tips that we've been gathering from the field for going gold personally, developing silvers, helping people get their first bonus, and then duplicating leaders. You ready?
Yeah. One of the things I heard Jen say is, I want to get ProBio 5 in everybody's hand. Like if every single follower on my team could get ProBio 5, which I remember feeling that way. ProBio 5 is actually was the gateway drug for Becky. It was actually the gateway conversation for Julia Carty. It's really kind of like, outside of weight loss, which again, Jen was right. The vanity of all of us are like 5-10 pounds be awesome. But we all know once you've started ProBio 5 and you've actually seen the difference, that you're like, how could you not at least want this? And to Jen's credit, she was doing triplex for a while, went straight into ProBio 5 and BioCleanse and kind of dropped the pink drink, kind of lost like, why am I taking this again? Especially it was probably, and there was like the formulation change, like all of those things. She probably wasn't really being like taught and led and like encouraged by an upline to really like understand what formulation she was taking. And but she knew ProBio 5 and BioCleanse worked, right? So if you've been at a place where you're like, if I could just give every single person in my network 2 to 4 ProBio 5 every day, I would feel like the greatest win ever. So I can vividly remember like starting Plexus as, a few of my friends will start ProBio 5, a few of my friends will start a pink drink, and a few of my friends need BioCleanse. And I kind of just assumed they'd buy like 1, maybe 2 of those products, right? So product focused. But y'all, the second you flip it and you go, I want everyone to have ProBio 5, but I want them to be able to afford it, pay for it, and have $50 more in the bank. Like when your vision becomes ProBio 5 is an automatic, like kind of like a, why would you not? It's the dumbest thing ever for you to not at least flip your probiotic to be this one. But what I want to talk to you about is the income. What I want to encourage you with is the business and the expectation that you're going to come in and you're going to tell 3 more people about this. One of the things that when Becky was saying, a lot of us in the beginning, like we didn't need to be handheld. I looked over at at Amber's face and I looked over at Becky's face, and like, we went silver because there was an expectation of like, oh, you're going to tell everybody. Like, do we have the expectation that everyone's going to tell everyone? Or are we like, I mean, you don't have to. I mean, if you want to, that's great, but you don't have to. And I just think like, at what point, at some point in your business, you will flip from product focused to business focused, of just like, my thought process is, of course you're going to take the probiotic. Like that needs to be in your, like, you're brushing your teeth, you're washing your hair, you're taking the probiotic like, it's just what you do. But what I want to encourage you with is the business aspect. It's the income aspect. Becky's husband was a lawyer. She ran her, one of the most impressive counseling practices that still, like, if you say her counseling practice name here in Dallas, people are like, oh, that's like, I know so-and-so and so-and-so, and you know, they all go there. Like, it's an impressive counseling practice. So she built this impressive counseling practice while her husband's a lawyer. Amber's husband was literally running our entire church, doing a massive building campaign. She was working for a wonderful family. She started building this like family herself that was like, multiply. She just kept having kids. And like, life was just busy, right? But the expectation was, well, you're at least going to cover the cost of your products. You're at least going to cover what you're spending, right? And there wasn't even, like, the same way that you think, that all of us think Probio 5 or Reset or Restore or whatever is like your, like, active, whatever is your product that you're like, why would everybody not be taking this, is the same thought process we had about why would you not be covering the cost of your products. So my question is, are you having that conversation with your customers, or are you assuming fear? Are you assuming rejection? Are you assuming that they don't need it, don't want it? And that's where the flip comes from, you building your own business wide. These are all the people I have personally added and encouraged to try Probio 5 or Triplex or whatever, to I'm creating legacy momentum of business. Because now, and I'm just going to use Jen's team now, Olivia is telling her people, because she's like, oh, mom's been hounding me about this forever. I know exactly what this is. I know that I have other brand new mamas in my world that need to have these products in their systems, but they also need $200 extra because groceries are expensive right now and diapers are expensive right now. And who knew that there would be like inflation on wipes, you know, like all of these things. And now all of a sudden you're creating a movement within a group of women going, oh, I can not only afford to take these products to be a better functioning mom, a better functioning wife, which is probably part of what Jen's story sounds like it is was my body even functioning to be a good wife and a good partner? And then you all of a sudden realize, like, these matter so much, but the only way they can have them is if they can afford them. And the only way they can afford them is if they share, and they start to share. And then it's not just affording the product, it's affording the next thing in life. So I want to encourage you to have the expectation of silver, but not just the expectation of silver, the expectation of covering the cost of their products. So if you aren't having that conversation with people, I want to challenge you to lean into that. That's a rejection seat. I just want to tell you, you're literally choosing to buckle yourself into a rocket ship of rejection. Like, it's going to happen. And it will happen more with the business than it ever happens with the products. But the win, when you actually like cast that vision and someone like leans in and goes, yes, that's what I need. I do need to feel better. But when I'm laying in bed at midnight and I cannot shut my brain off, it's because, okay, if I move the money from this account to this account and then this clears, can I hold off this other thing from clearing, or can I pay a minimum on this credit card so we can still use it and they won't stop us? Like, those are the conversations people are having in their heads. They might also be having, my tummy's really grumbly and I haven't pooped in 2 days thought process as they're laying in bed. But the chances are the anxiety, the cortisol spike, all of that stuff is happening because of income.
And
So
Andrea, Amber brings it up in the chat, just in case y'all want to look, but Amber's talking about, like, how much do you have to not like or be afraid of other people to not share the gospel with them? Okay. We're not trying to, it's not apples to apples. We're not saying plexus is the gospel. One of them has an eternal impact, but one has a very important impact on our bodies, which is directly connected to our spirits. Okay. But how much do you have to not like someone to share the gospel with them? So let's wind it back. I really think, and this is where God began to do business with me. My fear of rejection ultimately is all about me. It's pretty selfish. It's all about, I need you to approve of me. And what Andrea is talking about is when we presuppose rejection, we expect it, which is not only selfish, it's believing the worst about other people. So if you can get over making it about you, if you can get over the way you naturally have a program story, like they're going to reject me. Well, if you can just wipe all of that clean and truly love someone else enough to say, I don't know if this is for you, but like this massively changed my health, and share. Or for some of you guys, being able to afford the products, not only for you, but like for your children, for me, for my husband, massively changed the trajectories of our futures. If you can share boldly like that, which takes a lot of belief and a lot of letting go of self, that's where you're going to start to see change happen. Okay, back to you, A. I just didn't want to miss that.
Oh, yeah, I think it's really important. I never use the word presuppose, but if you did that, yeah, we tend to go, they don't need this. Like every single one of us can think of one person right now that we're like, if Lisa's my neighbor across the street that I always use because I'm literally looking at her house. But if Lisa doesn't really need this, like they could probably use it, but I can tell you 10 reasons why she probably wouldn't do plexus. But that's not my decision. My job is to say, Lisa, I want you to know, I know that y'all could use this money. I know y'all have soccer dues. I know that you have this coming up. I know you have someone, graduating high school. I know you want to get Hayden a Jeep, just like all of her girlfriends have. Would you want to do this with me? Like, would you want to just lean in and see what it even looks like? And then Lisa gets to say, nope, I don't want to. And then I go, okay, I'm going to keep kind of like loving you enough to say, when stuff comes up, I'm just going to, and do I have your permission to just like send you a little message whenever? Yeah, sure. You can send me a message whenever you want. You know, send me a video. Great. Send me a video. Like I can see this conversation happening. And the point is, I know they need it. I know that she's not ready for it. I know that there's some barrier. And I say that because, have you had a really good conversation with a safe place about the business? Last Friday, I had someone comes to my house every Friday and she does stretching, which is kind of like massage therapy on just my body. Since I have an 18-year-old that requires a lot of physical parts of my body. And so as I was talking to her, we've been friends for almost the whole time I've been doing plexus. And I said, she just lost an account with stretching. And I said, why don't you come do plexus with me? And she said, I don't feel like I'm a good salesperson. Like you sell your stretching business to everybody. And I was like, here's the thing. I don't think you believe enough in the products. I don't think you believe enough in the product line that you feel like you could share it. And I said, so let's start talking there. Like, why don't you start taking the products, replacing some of the things you're already taking? She was like, well, I already take this. I'm like, great. When you run out of that, why don't you just order the magnesium from me? When you run out of your turmeric, how about you just order ease from me? Like lead her into the products. And so, but it was really having a safe conversation with her about why she needs the business, y'all, so badly. She could use an extra $500 to $1,000. She doesn't need to make $10,000 a month. She truly needs $500 to $1,000 a month to replace this contract she just lost. And her saying, oh, I don't think I can do that because I'm not like you. And I was like, wait, but what? And are you having that comfortable conversation where you're like, no, just tell me why? Like, find a safe person that will tell you why they're not joining you in this business. And you will find out a couple of things. One, what you're not posting about. Two, how you're presenting the business. And three, some ways that you need to change up how you show up with other people, how you show up in conversation, what you're looking for in conversation. So I just want to challenge you, have really honest conversations with a safe place. Maybe your mom, maybe your sister, maybe your best friend, maybe someone you go to Sunday school with or you're in Bible study with, that you're like, hey, I know I've talked to you about doing Plexus before, or you've watched me do this for a while. Give me some feedback on why you're not doing this business with me. Cause I know y'all need the income. Like it really has to be someone that you have enough no trust factor with in a personal relationship that it is safe for you to say, I know you need $500 a month. So tell me why you're not doing that with me. So I really want to challenge you that. Okay, here is a really good tip that Jessica Heffley gave. I'm going to give all the credit to Jessica Heffley for growing new level 1 silvers. So you have to start with new level 1 silvers before you can help senior silvers develop, before you can help golds develop. And what Jessica Heffley said is, okay, and Jen, this is a perfect thing. As soon as Jen signs up Olivia, who I think had to drop off, she had a baby going on, but as soon as she signs her up, okay, Liv, this is exactly what you ordered. You ordered a triplex, this flavor slim, Let's build your cart exactly like you ordered it. And then when people say, well, what are you taking? Be like, let me just send you a cart of exactly what I'm taking. The code is already, oh, there she is. The code's already loaded in there. That give 10 is, I already sent a coupon code with you. Next month when your order ships, you'll get an additional $10 off on your second order. So that's awesome. But this is exactly what I already ordered. But Jen's cart is going to look different than Liv's cart, which is going to look different than, than my cart or Becky's cart, right? It's going to look different. But if someone came to me and said, well, what are you taking? Then I would send them a cart of my exact must have. I might also send them I might also have a saved weight loss cart because my cart maybe isn't weight loss focused. So I might have a cart saved for that, but don't get too far ahead. Right now, when you're helping someone go silver, everybody on here, think of the person you want to help go silver this month. Write them in the chat, write their name in the chat. Just here, I'll tell you mine. Shayla, I met with her this weekend. All of us have one person we want to help just go silver this month. And if it's their fast start silver month, y'all, they're making $400 and $500 this month. If instead of just adding 3 to go silver, they add 4, it's a huge $200 more, $200 and something more. I think it's $536 that are this month if they go fast start silver with adding 4. So y'all all have these people in mind that you want to help go silver. If you help them just build the cart of what they bought with the flavor of slim that they got, I'm guessing most people pick triplex. But if you just help them build that cart with the give 10 already loaded in it and it's on their phone so that when they're sharing or when they're talking to people, they go, well, what are you taking? I kind of can't explain. Let me just send you the link to the cart and then you can see exactly what's in it. You can see what products are in it. I went ahead and put the flavor that I really enjoy in there. And that way you are one step closer, one speed bump removed from the people sharing to people helping, like Jen said at the end of the month, where you're like, hey, are you not clicking on your cart and saying check out? Please help me understand. But it's but you have your cart. That they all have carts. And Jen, could you imagine if every one of your level 1s already had their personal cart link ready to go, so that as soon as someone asked them about it, they're like, well, let me show you what I bought. Okay, well, is that what I should buy? Because I'm struggling with this. Then you can go back, then you can have the conversation. Then you can build a different cart if you need to. Well, I don't black cherry. That doesn't sound good. Great. Let's switch at the cart. We can build you a new one. But could you imagine if you already had carts ready to go? I will tell you, most leaders in our company, if you go to my folder on my pinned note on my phone, it is my health quiz, my mentorship quiz. It's black cherry lime blossom plus balance. It's all carts. I have carts for specific people that are level 1s on my team. And I'm this is your cart. So if you lose it or you go, what's that link again? I can send it to you. You all have old codes loaded in there from when we had weird codes were happening. I have it all in my saved pinned note. So it's when I go into my notes section, it's the most important one is my links, knowing exactly what carts are ready to go. Okay. How does that, what do you feel? I want to ask this question. I need people to unmute and tell it. We got 15 minutes left. What do you feel is the biggest speed bump between where you are right now in your business and helping a level 1 develop to silver, senior silver, or gold in the next 90 days?
Well, I'll go. since one of my silvers is on the phone. The other one dropped off. She's going to get the what for. I think I just can't take away someone's sense of need for approval. It's the biggest challenge they have is overcoming that rejection. So it's not, I can teach them the process. I have the process. I'll even do the process for them. The biggest challenge that I think I've had, even with Livy, who's 23, she's a young mama, and she's given birth. So she's got a lot of opportunity to sell triplex in particular. Yeah, she hates being rejected. And the other thing she does, and this, like, I'm going to say, like, if you'd asked me in 2016, like, I was a different person. So it is the thing that and you can't change that in someone. So what I've started to do is just pray and be annoying, which is, did you send the message? Are you going to join the group? Like, that's what I do. It's my biggest challenge.
Do y'all know
Other
what I think is the biggest fix for rejection? Like, for the fear of rejection, do you know what the biggest fix for the fear of rejection is? And when you see someone who seems to not have a fear of rejection or can literally talk to anybody about it and is bold about anything, do you know what it is that combats, I guess would be the best word, not fixes, but combats rejection? It's belief. It's actually belief. Because back to what Amber said earlier about salvation, is when you know that the alternative to this is hell, then you're like, I can't not tell you. And I'm, again, not saying the alternative to plexus is hell. I'm just saying, if you know that, if you have huge belief like Jen had in ProBio 5, that you kind of care a little bit less about being rejected when you're like, you're more of an idiot than you are rejected. My feelings are less hurt than I actually think you're in the wrong. And when the more belief you have in what you have as a product or as a business, and that you can help someone else make $300 to $500 this month, then you're like, okay, now you're just choosing poorly. I didn't lead you poorly. Actually, I'm not giving you I'm giving you a really good opportunity and a really good option. And you're actually, so I think it's building belief. And my question would be, where are you building belief in your audience? Are you building belief through testimonials? Are you building belief through diamond documentaries? Are you building belief through calls like Sunday night and Thursday night and Thursday night chat, and new team members? Like, notice Jen had at one point 3 team members on this call. Like, it was important to her for them to come support her, which is really important if you're speaking on a call, is to have people come support you, which is a great way for them to listen in. Which means you need to show up for calls. You need to actually help lead calls so that people are coming and supporting you, not Becky and I. But also, like, she had poured some level of belief in them already. Like, girl, this call is so great. I'm enjoying these Monday afternoon calls. Come get on them if you can. So I really think, do you have such belief and conviction about what we're doing with the products or the business that you can't help but tell people, and it keeps you from slinking away and kind of being apologetic about what you do? Being unapologetic is saying, like, you're the crazy one for not leaning in. I'm not the crazy one for offering it to you. And I just think, and I will tell you this, you will go through seasons. There will be seasons of your business where you're like, I'm storming the, Mother's Day out for everyone's getting on ProBio 5 today. Like, you get a pink drink and you get a pink. And there's other days where you'll walk into, a mom's group and you're like, I'm not telling anybody I do plexus today. I'm just not feeling it. It is just it'll come and go. But I want to tell you that the more you build belief, Gut Glam, by the way, is a huge belief builder. Putting things on your calendar, like Becky said at the beginning, huge belief builder. Anytime you see people getting excited about something, anytime you get a gift in the mail, whether it's from Plexus or an upline or whatever, like, sharing that, like, all of those things are dripping belief and, like, awareness on your audience. Okay, who's the next? Let's talk about one more thing. What's another speed bump that's keeping you from actually, I put developing people to silver, but then I cross out developing and I put expecting people to go silver. So I actually think if you could take yourself out of the mindset of, I have to develop somebody to silver or gold, and you actually flip it and you say, I have the expectation that people on my team will go silver, senior silver, and gold in their first 90 days. Then you're kind of putting a little bit of that on them. Then the developing isn't on you to do. Okay, I'm going to mute and let someone else speak about me.
I just want to say thank you for doing this because, like, I don't know, it's so valuable. So thank you, Becky and Jennifer and Andrea, for doing this call.
I just want to say, when did we get to hear your testimony, you know, because you've got another great business story. What Andrea and I would love, no lie, would be for more of you guys to be willing, like we just basically, I messaged Jennifer, Andrea and I were like, well, hey Jen, do you want to speak next Monday? Like really no choice. And because I knew she'd say, I didn't know, but I had a feeling she would say yes. So I just want to encourage you guys, as you tell your stories, it builds your belief. Because I can have a lot of belief in Andrea's testimony, but I have to believe in mine. And the more I am required to tell it, the more my belief grows. And I would say that for all of you guys. I got to hear Jen Crawford's testimony at an event a week ago, and it was like so awesome. Plus, she's also an awesome speaker. Like, get yourself in places where you're sharing your testimony in front of people, whether it's on a call or in an actual like real life setting, and then tell your story in a million different ways on your social media, borrow other people's stories. That's also another part of belief building. And Ivy, you have strong belief. That is like one of your greatest values, is you have high belief. You want this, and I know it. So thank you for thanking us, but thank you. Anybody else? By the way, Christy Salcido, build our belief. Tell us what you're doing for corporate on Friday.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute. So I'm getting flown to Dallas, and I'm going to be speaking at the Plexus Hispanic community event, sharing my testimony, which is really cool and crazy and happened all of a sudden. So I always say it's an honor to share our stories, because our stories are not just for ourselves. They're to give somebody else hope, because we already experienced it, but someone else is waiting to hear that. So I'm excited.
And tell that story, because that didn't just happen haphazardly. You stretched yourself a few weeks ago, and what happened?
So, well, Becky sent me just a graphic of, there was a pop-up event close by. She's like, I don't know if you're by this, but you know, you're Florida. So I thought, so I looked into it, and it was about an hour away from me. I reached out to one of the people who were hosting it, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're coming. Okay, well then just come speak. Like, I really wasn't asked. And she was like, yeah, well, and all she knew of my story was the weight loss part of it. She only saw the pictures. And I was like, okay. And I went, I knew nobody there. And when I was there, Genevieve ended up being there. So Genevieve heard my story. And she was really just encouraged. She got my phone, put her phone number in it, got my number, sent it to the Hispanic community. She found out that I was Cuban, and then like in 5 minutes, all of this was happening. She was like, here's give me your phone. And I've been connected with some of the ladies in the Plexus Hispanic group that we're trying to grow. So yeah. And then now I'm going to Dallas.
Yeah, now they're sending you to Dallas to speak, which is awesome. I totally think it's God's favor. And I really think it's because you were like, yeah, I will. You were like, I'll drive an hour to get my cup filled. And then God turned around and used you to fill a bunch of other people's cups. And he's going to keep doing that. And that's actually what you've been praying for, right? Like even our conversation in Nashville, Christy, was about this.
Yeah.
Convention 2 years ago. So I'm so proud of you. I am praying for you. I'm excited for you. Y'all, we need to pray that God would speak through Christy. By the way, if you don't know Christy's story, like she used to be in a wheelchair. So it's about more than weight loss. And by the way, she had to evacuate her home last week and just now is trying to, settle in after 2 hurricanes, but especially Hurricane Milton, which basically ripped 3. Yeah, sorry. They've had it rough, and yet she's still like here on these calls, and she's driving to meetings and flying to Dallas. So I just really see this as like God's timing in your life. And I'm really praying that it blesses your business, Christy.
Thank you.
Okay, but I want you to say, what rank are you?
I am Ruby right now. Rebuilding to Ruby.
Yes, but I want y'all to hear, like, it's not like corporates only asking diamonds to come speak. They're asking people who are willing to show up and willing to put themselves like in front of, and we'll put all the, it's at the same place that Gold School is the day before Gold School. So we'll put all of that information on the table. I actually have invited people to it. So I'm excited about this event. I'm excited to hear, the whole event is in Spanish. There's no English, I think, at the event. So it's a fully Spanish speaking event, which I'm
It'll
going to
be
be
bilingual,
okay.
my understanding. Because
Okay.
some people, yeah, it'll be bilingual.
Okay, because I saw that it was like 4 Spanish speakers, and I was like, I'm going to be lost. But I'm inviting a friend to go to it because she is bilingual, like but a lot of her audience is more comfortable hearing it in Spanish. So I think it'll just be so great, especially that's in Dallas. If you don't know, Dallas is kind of becoming the hub for the next year of a lot of our events. So, the Spanish event is on Friday. Gold School is on Saturday. In January, Super Saturday is in Dallas. And then in June, convention is in Dallas. So just go ahead and get your Dallas frequent flyer ticket. Like, see if you can get like a 4-for-1 ticket for Dallas and show back up. And I know Sally and I are thrilled because it's literally like down the street from our house. Okay. The last thing I want to tell y'all real fast, I wish I had my mug in here. I don't have my mug in here. Is what is today? Today is the 14th. On the 16th, Beck, do you have your mug? Just gonna open it up.
I'll get it out.
There is a fun, I guess we're just saying there's a fun product launch. It's a product launch. It's actually, there is a new product.
Something you've never tried.
Yeah. And part of it comes with this. If you see these little mugs all over social, you'll see even more today. They mailed them to all of the diamonds, just so that we could start kind of teasing the mug. But it is something fun. It is actually wonderful. I love it. My family loves it. So I'm excited for it to launch. It happens. So free spiced pumpkin lean goes through tomorrow. This launches on Wednesday morning. And I don't know where you live, but on Wednesday in Dallas, it's not getting above 68 degrees.
Ooh,
So
that's a treat for y'all.
Wednesday is going to be the greatest day ever in Dallas. We get a product launch and it doesn't get above 68 degrees.
Y'all don't even understand. That's like Christmas. Probably how hot it will be on Christmas.
It'll be 90 tomorrow and it'll get back up to 80 by the end of the week. But
y'all are gonna bust out your fleeces that day. I know it. I remember it well.
I'm gonna literally probably just do like a whole photo shoot of like me in sweaters for like the one day until February when it actually gets cold. So just y'all pay attention, stay tuned to what's going on. I promise we'll tell y'all everything, but you do have to be plugged in. You do have to be, checking the team page like Beck said. You do have to kind of be showing up. It'll be fun. We'll show you how to use it with your new customers and your existing customers. So we promise not to leave you stranded, but and there's plenty of it. So there may not be plenty of mugs. I have no idea how many mugs there are, but there's plenty of product so that you will be able to get your hands on it. Okay. The mug really is, it's so cozy and like, it's just a good mug. So, all right. We will see y'all later. Happy Monday. Bye y'all.